There's been a bunch of new research coming out on this awesome natural remedy. This is Propolis, also known as bee glue, and it's got so many big studies coming out now. You really need to start using this for your dogs and cats.
Are you looking to learn more about natural pet health and wellness? You've come to the right place. Click the link to subscribe to Veterinary Secrets.
Propolis, it's this sticky resinous substance. Bees use it to reinforce their hive, also known as bee glue. It's been used for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians, they used it to embalm their cadavers because propolis did such a good job preventing bacteria and fungi to grow. Hippocrates, considered the founder of modern medicine, used it specifically for wounds and ulcers. And in the 17th century, British pharmacopoeias, they listed propolis as a medicinal drug. World War II, limited access to antibiotics, they specifically used propolis because of its antibacterial, anti-inflammatory properties. What are some of the specific new things you should know about propolis? So why should you be using propolis on your dog, on your cat? The new latest research shows that propolis, it can inhibit cell proliferation. It can inhibit angiogenesis, that's new blood vessel growth. It can inhibit cancer cell spread, i.e. metastasis. And then lastly, and as importantly, it can induce cell apoptosis, cancer cell death. If you have a dog or cat that ever has cancer, you want to be thinking about using propolis. I recently did a video on inflammatory bowel disease, some of the alternative options, but one of the big ones that has come up is this, propolis. This one abstract, a systematic review of the efficacy of propolis on inflammatory bowel disease. They actually used animal models, i.e. dogs, cats, who had inflammatory bowel disease as models, seeing how beneficial propolis would be for people. And what they found is universally, this was seriously helpful. They believe that some of the components, they have specific anti-inflammatory, antioxidant effects. So because of that, they're seeing less gut inflammation. They're seeing less vomiting, less diarrhea, a resolution of many of the clinical signs just being on propolis. Diabetes, a new study with diabetes. It showed that propolis may be specifically helpful by lowering blood sugar, decreasing insulin resistance. This double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical study, it showed that propolis was able to decrease fasting blood sugar, lower insulin resistance. It was specifically beneficial for people that had type 2 diabetes. That's the same diabetes that our cats get. The anti-inflammatory effects of propolis, it decreased inflammatory cytokines. So because of that, then the cells which were not responding to insulin, they now are able to respond to insulin. They don't have all these inflammatory mediators attacking them. Then the clear benefits of propolis being a natural antibiotic. One new scientific study, it is titled Propolis. Specifically what they're doing is they're studying non-traditional approaches to combat multi-drug resistant bacteria. And the big takeaway from this study is that they strongly advise additional research and really looking at propolis in a serious way because it has such a broad antimicrobial spectrum in terms of targeting so many of these bacteria, and it's effective against some of these serious bugs that we can no longer kill with antibiotics. The methicillin staph resistant bacteria, some of the E. coli that is drug resistant, they're seeing those bacteria were actually targeted and killed by propolis. The cold viruses, the flu virus, I recently did a video on updating about the bird flu. And of all the few different alternative options that you could even consider treating your dog or your cat with, like the one highest up on the list is this one, propolis. It is clearly beneficial for respiratory disease. It has documented antiviral properties, beneficial against some of these flu viruses. So if you had to choose like one thing, like one, alternative treatment you would use, your dog has the flu, your cat has the flu, they have the bird flu, for instance, you would go with this. You would go with propolis. So here we have propolis being beneficial for cancer, for inflammatory bowel disease, for multi-drug resistant infections, for diabetes. And I want to show you one last big one, which I'm using on Tula right now. She recently had her teeth cleaned, but maybe you can see that. I lift up her lips and you can see she's still got some moderate gingivitis over top of her upper left canine tooth. I'm treating this now with propolis. She'd been on antibiotics after the dental. Clearly that hasn't 100% fixed the gingivitis. So you are going to get your little squirt of oral propolis. I'm going to be doing this twice a day. She's going to be getting this for the next week. There is a huge pile of research focusing on propolis and dental disease being really beneficial for gingivitis. So that's what she's getting. And like, just look at all those specific things this awesome natural remedy can do. If you have a dog, if you have a cat, they happen to be sick, and you're thinking of like, oh, what sort of natural remedy should I add to my arsenal? I encourage you to start with something like this, propolis. Looking at all the big things it can do and looking at all the new research coming out supporting it. I mean, it makes huge sense to me. And for all of these, like what sort of propolis dose would I suggest? Pretty typical one would be 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight once or twice daily. Comes in here, these 500 milligram capsules. Little Tula is 25 pounds. I'd be giving her half a capsule once a day. You can also get it as a spray. It has a spray here. It's great for topical wounds, right? You're trying to manage a wound, i.e. hot spot, use topical propolis. For something like Tula's teeth, you can spray that into the gums, doing that twice a day. Also good for people. It's a natural bad breath remedy. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets of this propolis update. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book. Tula's waking up. Oh, you wake up from your bedtime. Oh, good girl.